will find this interesting.
Oh, did you hear about Bryan Adams?
No, what happened?
Do you know
to
who that
Brian?
is?
No.
That one dude that sang the song "Summer of '69." Down, down, down,
You mean?
down, 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 down,
Hold on.
down, down, down.
Yeah, I know. I know who you're talking about.
He got he's part of the Me Too stuff now.
Really?
But the
Is this a joke?
Mm-mm.
Are you? Oh, okay. Right.
but the bad part is that obviously that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he was trying to like get with like 14-year-old girls like via like Skype and Twitter. Yeah,
Ouch.
New York Times just came out with a full report on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you like? I just know him
I
on
heard
the
it-
song.
no-
Are you still gonna listen to a song?
I didn't like him anyway. I don't like that song. The only song
Fair.
that I did like was called "Run to You," but it's not.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's not.
Hmm.
He was kind of like the Nickelback of the 80s and 90s. You know.
Sure. Okay.
He
I don't
was
know.
extremely popular, but there was zero substance kind of thing.
Dang.
But he just got the kaboot, if you will.
It's just kind of weird because how long ago was the first?
Who came out? It was Harvey first.
Yeah, wasn't
Harvey
that the
or
biggest? I guess you could potentially consider Bill was the kind of
that
floodgate.
was like 2 or 3 years ago now.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and so it's like now we still just have these normal
Oh, yeah.
ripple effects of.
It's still no.
Yeah, no, I mean it's awesome that it's happening,
Right.
And it's
It's
great that
just-
we're figuring it out.
He might face jail time though.
Oh, okay.
Like because it's a 14-year-old girl. It's
Sure.
not like
Oh, yeah.
he's a record producer and he's
no,
like,
no.
"Hey, you want to make this song?" Then
Mm-hmm.
no, it's like it's a child.
Sure. No, it's disgusting and it's really weird. There's actually, and I'm not going to get super specific into it because it was kind of gross. That's supposed to be up there. It's always covered because Harper will
will get
like
into it,
try,
yeah.
and she'll just futz with it.
She'll fling it at you.
Yeah, right. Like Harper, why?
Yeah.
And so it's always covered, and so I keep. It's like this is the only moment why I have it, so it's so that everyone can enjoy it. Anyways, there was this YouTuber, and he was kind of like one of those stereotypical white boy does like cover of pop and kind of
Does
pop
he
punk
put like
stuff.
an acoustic spin on a pop song that
He does-
blows your mind?
He doesn't do acoustic spins.
Oh.
He does acapella.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and honestly, like just to recognize the music that he
Talent.
created, not bad. I can see the appeal to it. I think there was he was getting millions of views per video of it,
But
that market was preteens, and so I don't know exactly the age that he targeted or whatever, but
No
essentially, TLDR, too long didn't read. He would have his fans send him videos of stuff. I'm not going to get into anything more of that, but yeah, it's as gross as you think.
what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, and so I believe the reason why I remember is because Philip DeFranco mentioned it recently. His trial, I think, is now set to in March or something.
That is
So
gross.
yeah, this was a while ago that it happened, and so now
I've
it's
never
like
heard about
finally
this.
because he's a YouTuber. He's
He's not big
lowly
enough.
internet man. He doesn't do. He's not on American Idol. I
No,
guess.
and he won't be.
I
would.
I think his career is officially destroyed. He actually tried to address it.
How do you address that?
He's like, oh, there were rumors and it's not true and blah 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 and whatever, and tried to like downplay it.
All right, if
as
he's
much as
found
he
not
could.
guilty in a court of law, then
I don't know. He seems pretty. He seems pretty. I did it. So yeah, wow. Thank you.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
other Me Too?
I don't know anybody else that got Me Too'd recently. Like, I mean, no, I can't think of one. Good.
All right.
I don't know. It's just like for rock, used to be untouchable when it came to that stuff because
Mhm.
you would hear like stories and in books about some of the Beatles and some of Zeppelin and
Mhm.
Floyd and the Rolling Stones getting with like 16, 17-year-old girls.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was just expecting it's like I thought that wasn't the, like kind of the mentality, the rock star lifestyle.
No,
the mentality
it was part
like
of the it was part of the
drug,
lifestyle,
sex,
rock and roll. It was part of the lifestyle. That's why it had like this shield up. Like, nah, it's just what rock stars do.
Right.
And also those bands back in that time, it wasn't ridiculous for a 16-year-old girl to. I mean, it's gross from today's standards, but people were getting married back then at 16. 17.
Okay. I can't justify to that.
Well, no, but it's still horrible. But it rock had this shield up.
Sure.
And now it's like when you hear a story about Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin and he was with like a 17-year-old.
Jimmy Fallon?
If Jimmy Fallon gets Me Too'd,
bro, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, yeah, he fits the type.
I doubt he could do it. He would just laugh too much.
Oh my god!
He wouldn't be able to. He'd look over at the Roots like, what is going on?
Nobody's there because he's at his house.
Oh no, not Jimmy Fallon.
So Jimmy Page, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember when we did the album competition and
the
you
review.
did Green Day and I did Physical
Led
Graffiti?
Zeppelin,
Well,
yes.
that one song.
My album wasn't called Green Day. It was called
American Idiot, right?
By Green Day.
Right.
Green Day by Green Day. Sorry.
Right. But remember that song where you like pointed out when we were listening to it, he was like, did Robert Plant just say 16? And I go, looking at the lyrics, I'm like, huh, I really hope that's not what I think it means. No, probably was.
Sure. I mean, what can we do about it now? Unless,
nothing.
I mean, you could stop listening to his music.
No.
That's the line. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of good that we're changing our mentality and we're kind of growing up in a sense, but not like, I don't know. Being obsessed with the past is never good. So if we're maturing and growing and now it's like, because now you probably don't see any rock stars hooking up with little girls because that's because
most of them are old men except for like the very brand new guys. Like most like some of the biggest bands in the world, Foo Fighters is still, and they're all like 40 or 50 years old.
Yeah, Green Day's in there.
Green Day is probably in their 40s.
Late 40s, I think.
Late 40s.
They're all married and have kids,
right.
I think. Yeah,
which I've never stopped a rock star before, but I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Like I had this thought when I was working today. Okay. I just thought when I was working today, like if I were to ask my mom and dad if they were cool with gay marriage like 15 years ago or like even 10 years ago, they would say no. But it's the dynamic between like liberals and conservatives where it's those two sides have a job to do. And it's a job of the liberals to say, no, come on, let's keep going. And it's a job of the conservatives to say, hold up, are we sure? And so it's
point interjection. Sorry, real quick. To clarify, Hyde said it best. He said, let me see if I can find it. Liberals, the idea of a liberal is to, I'm summarizing this totally, but the idea of a liberal is to live in a society that you can live whatever life you want to live without any bounds, without any holds or essentially, segregation or anything like that. So
yeah, do whatever you want.
Right. So I think that's just, we're trying to achieve that society, and the conservatives are the ones kind of saying, well, let's frame that and limit it. And
but each one plays a vital role. So it's the give and take of the two sides. So like, let's say the Democrats wanted to make it, I don't know, what did the guy from Virginia say? The governor from Virginia.
Okay. Whoa. Let's have some clarification here. So
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Let's make sure we both understand this correctly. So the bill that is in New York or whatever, the law that's in New York,
Virginia, yeah.
Well, I thought it was proposed in Virginia, or he was trying to propose it in Virginia.
Then
that's
what
I thought.
Is it actually on the books in New York now?
It has been, yes.
Okay.
So the law is essentially you can have late term abortions, like up to 9 months, if I believe like it's saying directly that the mother's life is in danger or some like super crazy external factor. Like it's not something you can just be like, I'm 8 months pregnant, I changed my mind, can you get rid of this kid? Like right. That's not the bill.
But that's always been the law anyway. So
I thought the law was in most places. I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought the law was you can't get it after the first trimester.
No. That's where forgot who said it.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Conservatives' main thing is, of course, it's like the of course but maybe kind of thing, you know? It's like, of course, if a mom's life is in danger, then they're cool with, you know, they're cool with terminating the baby.
Right.
But other than that, they're not.
Sure.
So that's their give.
But I think everybody's reasonable.
Everyone's reasonable about that on board. But when you have mouthpieces that are on the far left that say, doesn't matter if it's 9 months, it's
sure.
That's where you need another side to say ho 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 ho. And that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
You have those two sides that go to war with each other, but they create a balance in the force, if you will.
I will say, I think, yes, your point is valid, but I think the way that you guys go ho 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 hold a minute can be adjusted, and then the liberals can do or whatever the left can do.
Guys?
Like in term, the state the state of which we, and again, something that referencing in the podcast, we're a very call out culture.
Oh yeah,
where
it's about recognition.
It is about recognition, and so now you're seeing people react immediately and giving their first impressions and impulses. It's all about emotion. It's very emotion fueled, and so when you have a conservative saying, "Hey, you know, that's a silly idea, liberal, you know, chill out for a second," it's more aggressive and it's more kind of demeaning because for some reason that's the way we value recognition, I guess. If the more, and I don't agree with this at all. I don't think this is a fair thing to do at all. But I think what's generally accepted is it's like if you can burn someone really hard, you're gonna get more respect than just calling it out and bringing attention.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but I think and again, it's fueled by the access of like social media and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
So
everyone has an opinion, and
so now you can just sign up for free, no holds bar. You can
say whatever you want and mean whatever you want. And we saw that kind of with the Covington kids thing, like, which I think we talked about last episode or the episode before that.
I think
about those kids in DC from the Catholic high school that were just being stupid kids.
Oh yeah.
But when what actually happened came out, or when it happened, everybody jumped on these kids and trying to like dox them and like put their addresses out and all that stuff.
That's bad.
And yeah, let's take a step back and let's reasonably look at something as opposed to just being outraged for the sake of being outraged.
Well, I think that I think we should just better handle and direct that outrage because, you know, I think as humans, and I've tried to express this as much as I can before, but I think emotion is whether or not you have someone who says they think by their intelligence or they can act rationally and whatever. I don't think that's true. I think every single human being reacts on a scale of how emotional they are, and I think just right now we're at a time where just the extremes are showing up, and that's getting people emotion, and that's getting people, you know, up out of their seats. And I don't know when it started or, you know, when we had this dramatic shift, because seriously, and again referencing the podcast, you look at the elections in like the 80s and 90s, and you had like, you know, conservative Democrats, and you had liberal
conservatives,
whatever, Republicans,
liberal Republicans,
and so
which Reagan was too.
That. And so there was something that just shifted and totally changed everything, and now it's, if you don't agree all the way, then you're not a true whatever Democrat or Tea Party or Green Party or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. I
don't know either.
It's probably the best guesses that we have, and it is, I think, that the shift in how parents change treating their kids.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't. Did you grow up with like helicopter parents, or did you experience? Because like, so by the way, everyone, we're welcome back to another one more podcast. Thanks a lot, Blake, for just getting us to talk. I appreciate it. I saw what you did there. So we're essentially talking about a podcast on the Joe Rogan show. It was Jonathan Haidt. He was a professor, psychologist. I forget what other degrees / professions he was in.
Graduated from Pennsylvania.
Sure.
And then he went to Yale.
Yep. And so
got his doctorate in something.
Mm-hmm. So he was on the show and they were talking, and it's just what they talked about was really, really interesting. And I thought that if those born in 1995 and after can listen in, and maybe you can figure out why you're so messed up.
The hell's going on with us?
Yeah, and why we got problems. So I guess we can keep going back to what we were talking about. Sorry that
so
15 minutes into the podcast, we finally give a fucking introduction to what we're talking about.
Jonathan Haidt and one of his friends or partners, intellectual colleagues, wrote a book called The Coddling of the American Mind, where it basically talks about the situation going on at a minority of universities and what parents are doing wrong with their kids, me and Yuval's age down.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into a bunch of different points, but mainly the title of the book pretty much explains itself, where parents are coddling kids to the point where when they finally do break out and go off on their own, they don't know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leads to an emotional response to everything. That leads to a bunch of other factors that we'll get into in a second. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's incredible.
Yep.
He's incredibly smart. You can go watch an interview that he did with Jordan Peterson too. It's also just as fascinating.
So far, we haven't interacted with anyone outside that social group of thinking.
What do you mean?
Like someone on like the total opposite end. But that's okay. We're just a giant circle jerk. But yeah, answer my question, Blake. Did you grow up with helicopter parents?
I think I did when I got to high school.
Okay.
When
so
I
you could actually start doing trouble.
Yeah, when I was a kid, before high school, it was after school. You do your homework, and I would immediately go across the street to John, David, and Jordan's house, and we would ride our bikes, get into trouble, do Tom Sawyer stuff, and I'd be back home. And that was it. Now on the weekends I'd play baseball and go swimming, and then as I got older, I kept doing that. In high school though, I think because just my personality, and I was also just a smart ass, that my mom and dad started to get really suspicious that I had to have been doing something wrong.
Okay. So it was more of just like or watching you and not like, oh, Blake, let me take care of you?
No, it was I had a family member that was doing a lot of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so because me and him are so close, it was he's doing this, so Blake has to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got drug tested, searched. I didn't drink in high school. I didn't smoke in high school. I didn't do any of that because I was scared.
Yeah.
My dad scared the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never got coddled. Okay. It wasn't anything like that. But it very much was, I know you're up to something, so you think you can get away with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to Connors, okay? I know where you really are. And it's like, I'm actually going to Connors.
Well, sure, that too.
We're playing pool and talking about music. That's what we're doing. I promise.
Yeah. But
I think my mom coddled, but my dad did not. And I think that's just a balance that you need.
Mm-hmm.
One parent being the prison warden and the other being the one that you can go to when you're feeling bad.
Sure.
That's the dynamic that you need.
Right.
And so
why can't both of them be just equally cool?
Because
Can't they be
you need
both?
structure, but
They both
as
can
humans,
give you structure.
we need love and we need empathy.
True.
And so when you get too much love and empathy,
Oh,
you become a marshmallow.
I don't
and
think
when you
that's
get too much
true.
strict, you become Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
True.
So
that's proven. That's been scientifically proven.
Right. So that's why you need the balance. You need the balance so that you can become a functioning member of society. You know how to be this hard person, disciplined person when you need to from one parent, and then you also know how to be empathetic and not a sociopath from one parent.
I mean, sure, I agree that the method works. You were totally right.
A mom can be the strict disciplinarian, and the dad can be the cool one, or you're one dad
Vice
and one
versa.
dad. It doesn't matter,
right?
But you need that balance.
I think that's fair. Then I agree, but more to the point of why we have this coddling.
Yes.
A long time ago, there was crime, and then there was crime everywhere, and then there was less crime. And I think we're living in the less crime, I would hope.
Yeah.
So,
but we haven't gotten over the more crime phase.
Yes. And so there's a bunch of people, and they're super worried that kids are still getting abducted at super high rates. Not saying they're not getting abducted. I think the number that they threw out was like 100 kids a year, which is bad. That's really bad.
Right.
But when you think of the square mileage that everyone lives in and the population that we have and how many kids, it's a very, 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 very infrequent. And generally, I think most of the cases are like within, it's not some stranger.
Isn't it most of them? It's people that you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's in your circle, or that one length of friends or something like that.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Uncle Tom.
You don't have people trying to abduct in vans anymore because that's been like played to hell.
It's been done before.
Yeah, like everyone
be original.
Knew. Well, okay, don't do that. Don't be original.
Like the Ted Bundy thing. Have you seen that documentary? Quick side note on
What?
Netflix. It's all about.
Is
Ted
it
Bundy.
out now?
Yeah, it's all about.
And
Ted
it's played
Bundy.
by Zac Efron or
no,
whatever?
No, that's the movie.
Oh,
Netflix
okay.
did a documentary,
No,
4-part series on Ted Bundy and how he would get.
He was a lady
girls.
killer.
Oh yeah, he would do like the arm sling,
like
and
literally,
like,
and
hey,
like
can
his
you
title.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can you help me like pick up this box and put it in my car?
Oh, really? Like just
and
random.
If a girl was nice enough to do it, it was over.
Wow.
That's how he would do it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. You're totally good. That's insane, man. Part of me, this is a really messed up thing to say, I think, but part of me is kind of fascinated with like the mentality, like the sociopath aspect that goes behind it.
Don't think of yourself bad for it.
Well, I don't know.
Thing.
It's like it's an object is across the table for me, and it's doing its thing, and it has functions and motors, and like it's like, whoa, what is that thing? And so it doesn't really matter the subject matter of, or at least to me, it doesn't necessarily matter. It's just like, wow, that's a really interesting concept.
No, it's fascinating. How people's mind can break down to do that. Do you remember the guy that shot up the UT campus in the 60s?
I know the event, but I don't know.
Well, he wrote in his letter before he went on that rampage, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Really?
Please study my brain to see why I'm doing this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely takes a certain... Anyways.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Focusing. Yeah, Blake, stop throwing me off guard with all this stuff. So pretty much parents have not let go of the idea, and additionally, they've kind of invaded into their children's lives through like managing playtime and being kind of the what I mentioned before, the helicopter parent of always being on top of your kid. Because and I don't think this is all the way true or necessarily the 100% truth, but the main thing that Jonathan was emphasizing was that parents can be fined or parents can be put to jail if kids are out on their own. So you can't let
somebody
your
could prosecute you as negligent.
Yeah, exactly.
When in Utah, he stated that Utah was just now passed a law where
you can
they
say free roam or free range.
Yeah, your kid can just go out and be a freaking kid in the neighborhood, and you won't get charged with negligence.
Yes, and so that cycle essentially kind of continually over the years was just like, okay, this happens.
Snowball, yeah,
and then the 90s happened, and then the 2000s happened, and then technology's gotten better to track your kids, and so now it's like we're finally at this point where kids aren't able to function the same as they used to, because when you're in a situation where you always have this authority following you, and you always have this authority in your pocket, or you have this, whatever it is,
you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. And additionally, you're not able to handle situations independently. So if you, the stress of dealing with someone one-on-one, that direct contact, the being able to communicate effectively, being able to handle the stress, if you're being accused, or if it's a heated debate,
someone's
or whatever
challenging
it is,
your ideas, whatever.
Exactly.
You break down.
Right. And so we're getting to this point where, kids, as they develop, they need to have some level of stress in their life, so that they just like how your antibodies need to be exposed to germs to be able to develop a self-healing solution, essentially. And so what's happening is now kids are not having and not exposed to that, because in a conflict, they don't need to know how to resolute that. They just have to appeal to a higher authority. And now kids are out in the world, and tying it to the college conversation we were having earlier, not specifically the becoming shooters about this, but
no, not that one,
not that. But what you're seeing now is you have all these kids being, it's a good thing to try and be activists. It's a good thing to try and, speak your mind and get what you want, and for the betterment of the community. But the ways that they're going about it, and the college stations, and the online Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, and all through these different avenues, is just with these extreme reactions, and with these kind of unfair, essentially, strategies. And so
there's a limit. So you can start here, communicate your ideas successfully. Just start there.
But it's when you say no, or you say that you're stupid, or whatever.
No, it's you're immediately, when someone disagrees with you and you don't know how to come back, you immediately paint that. The go-to is to paint that person as bad. Like there is malintent in you disagreeing with me, because I don't know how to handle someone else disagreeing with me. I was told that I was right, and that everybody's opinion is the same, and we're not specifying a specific group or anything. This is people. You find these people in every single group, across the entire spectrum. And so, not to mention, Blake, you're fronted with that, but additionally, you're in a culture and you're in a society where it approves of call out culture. So you're gonna try and deflect. And that's another arsenal that you have, that instead of trying to handle the argument properly, it's like, oh, I can just shoot this guy over here and deflect and do whatever. And then bam. Not literally, but no. It's just, I don't know how let's look at how we got there. So like when we were kids growing up, we became college students. Yes. I remember having maybe a couple of times, actually one specific incident, where somebody legitimately thought that I was a bad person because I disagreed with them. Oh, wow. Okay. It was in Sociology 1, and it was my freshman year of college, and I was talking to just going back and forth, having a little quasi debate in the classroom about the black-white achievement gap and why it's so different. And we were just discussing different variables, why this, why not this. And I mentioned, I'm sure the single motherhood rate in the black community has something to do with it. I mean, it's upwards of 75%. That is very scary numbers. That's horrible. And it's proven that you have a harder time succeeding in life if you don't have two parents in the home. And it also doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. That's another study that I thought was interesting. The whole idea of you need a mom and a dad in the home, that's not true. You just need two people there to help you. And that's where I'm talking about the balance. You need that authoritative figure in one parent, and you need the soft, it's going to be okay from one parent. But anyway, and this dude got up in class and kind of got in my face until my professor said, "Get your ass out in the hall." Wow. Yeah. One of my favorite professors of all time, Mr. Grice. What's up? And he was incredible. Thanks for watching the show. Yes. Thank you. He was incredible. And I learned and that was an instant for me where it's like, okay, I have somebody that I may disagree with him on virtually everything, but he's cool enough to where we can just sit down and talk. and he doesn't think I'm a bad kid. He doesn't think I'm stupid. It's just,
that's very rare though, I think. Well, okay, I say very rare. Most universities,
where, right?
Yes, most universities across the country are at this point in time relatively stable. You still have your outliers and everything. I know I've experienced a few people like that, not directed at me, but just publicly directed. I experienced on campus, and so. But you're seeing a lot in California and in the Northeast.
Yeah,
states.
they showed or Jonathan was talking about, they mapped out the major events / riots that were happening on campuses resulting from these kids our age that were getting upset about a speaker coming in or a professor saying this, whatnot.
Yeah.
And virtually all of them, except for a couple of cases in Chicago, were along the Northeast and along the West Coast in California, Oregon, and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything in the middle, except for Chicago and maybe Missouri after the Ferguson shooting.
I don't know. I just listened to the podcast.
Has been kind of chill. It's been kind of chill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, you still have those people that just want to stir stuff up and whatnot. But all in all, it's really, if you just pinpoint it, it's Northeast and it's West Coast.
Do you think it has something to do with bullying? Not necessarily the locations, but this whole process of like where we're at right now.
I think it's easier, depending on and I think Jonathan was talking about this too.
That's why I bring it up.
When guys bully, it's physical.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we talk mess about each other, we never mean it. It's funny. Whenever like me and my buddy Matt are talking mess about each other, just insulting each other off the bat, Brittany might go, "Oh, don't say that." It's like, you're making it real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now you're making it to where I'm a dick. Like, it's nothing. Nothing's wrong. That's just what we do. But our bullying is physical.
Mm-hmm.
With girls are just as malicious as guys are, except their bullying is social. They want to destroy your social currency, your social stock in the market of middle school or high school.
Mm-hmm.
They want to try to knock that down.
Especially middle school.
Oh, yeah. They want to knock that down as much as they can because that's how they bully. And so with social media, I'm assuming is where we're going with this too, it's made so much easier to do that. So when you're sitting behind a screen, you don't. But
it's also amplified though as well, because you have filters and you have all these additions and modifications you can make. So not only are you looks and stuff like that and attention and what your status is online, it's like this unfair game. You're playing a rigged game essentially.
Right. Middle school is already tough for girls. But it's even tougher when you look at every single girl and they're perfect on social media. So that's where all the filters come in. Obviously there are some girls that, got hit with a stick, but everybody can try to make themselves look as good as they can. And so you're propping yourself up and then comparing yourself, and there's no end game. No one's going to win at this.
And you know what's worse about all this? Schools are, according to this podcast, schools are now kind of promoting an environment where that's like going to happen even more, because they're getting rid of like the bully of all sense of the word. So whether it's social bullying or actual physical bullying, and so you're essentially locking these kids up, and that they're not really allowed to experience kind of the early, what we were talking about, the stress of having to deal with people and
having to deal with jerks.
Yeah, exactly. And so if someone's being a jerk to you because they're excluding you from a club or something like that, you can tattle, or the teacher will intervene immediately and say, no, you can't, you have to let them in. And so again, what we said before is you're appealing to an authority and not having to direct conflict.
Deal with it.
Yeah. And so then we're running to these social media caves essentially, and seeking shelter of sorts.
I remember my mom was telling me a story about how she bullied. She was in like first or second grade, and she and her like 3 or 4 girls in their clique, they made these bracelets called Anna bracelets. And whenever this girl Anna that they didn't like would walk over to them, they would, all 4 of them at the same time, they would just start playing with their bracelets. And Anna would try to talk to them, and they would just ignore her and just start playing with their bracelets.
What?
That's what they would do. Right.
That's horrible.
And I asked my dad, how are you bullied as a kid because my dad was like 80 pounds going into high school.
Okay.
He was a string bean going into high school. And, excuse my French, they would play every morning. They would play a game called Smear the Queer.
Wow.
We've all heard of that game. You've never heard of the game?
Yeah, well, no, but like I'm saying, wow to they're playing the game. I am aware of what
every morning on the concrete, just or in the football field that had no grass. It was just rocks and dirt, and Mike was always the easiest one to tackle, and so he would get tackled and hurt bad. That's how we bullied. That's just because Mike was small, and it's easy to pick on the small guy.
Guys just see size differences. Ooh, small target prey. That's how we think.
It's primal. That's why the small kids are usually the funniest. They have to find a way to fit in because they know it's not going to be physical.
Yeah, that's true. Another problem we have also, and question. So how do you respond how you did respond in school, but also if it's changed now, how do you learn best? When they ask you that question in a classroom or whatever, or if you're in an job interview, how do you learn best?
Visually and hands-on.
Okay, so I think there's a great example that I think really emphasizes that visual and auditory and being lectured doesn't necessarily sound like, or like at surface level it sounds like it would be a good effective way of learning, but in this example he was like, you put kids in two classes about climbing a tree. One class, the kids can just climb the tree and do whatever they want, and that's how they learn. And the other one brings in a professor and the best tree climbing expert and tries to teach the kids. And so after 2 weeks, which kids would you put your money on?
Kids that were climbing trees.
Exactly. And so I think as humans, I think we have to have an expected standard that every single kid learns more with hands-on. Okay. And I think that's a fair, because I definitely learn more with hands-on. You can blah, 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 blah all day long, but if I'm not actually doing it while you're telling me, or if I'm not able to experience it, I totally learn better with hands-on.
Yeah, I think that's effective across the board.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, I think, I can't speak to anything outside of Frisco, but, I think there's a different way the way we're teaching kids is changing, and I don't think it's for the better though. No. So we need to relook at how we're teaching kids.
I mean, also you can't. Kids today cannot get through school without technology anymore. So
that's true.
When my parents were about to ground my little brother for some reason, they said, "Give me your phone." Right? Natural.
Oh, yeah.
We had to give up our phones. Here, fine.
Here, have my flip phone.
Yeah,
Dad.
Have my phone that I can play Snake on until my battery dies after 15 minutes. Yeah. Go ahead and have it. Yeah. But to Trent's point, he said, okay, then how am I going to communicate with my teacher? And I'm in the room. I'm in the kitchen. They're talking in the living room. And I go, what?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I get emails and I get assignment updates. They email me from my phone.
That's
I even text
so
some of my teachers, and I'm like, "What is that?
That's weird.
Are you serious?
That's weird.
Isn't that weird? But it's reality.
Weird. That's not how you should learn.
They'll take quizzes on their phones.
I mean,
in class.
Well, that is different. But like, I think that communication between this, I think. Kids, you don't need that kind of stuff until you're in college. And I get it. Maybe if you're like a senior and you have a class, something like that. But, like freshmen, sophomore, juniors don't really need to be messaging or emailing their teachers for stuff. Because that's such a like, you do that in college and you do that in the business world.
You email your professor saying, hey, I missed class today. What do we do or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
Oh, well, junior college is different, I
guess. We couldn't friend our teachers while we were in
we never did that either.
Okay. Well, I know like after high school, a bunch of people just like added up. I found my teacher and they had like 15 people that I knew that added them just because like whatever.
There's a couple of teachers that let us do that. One of them was...
I only friended one teacher.
One?
Yeah. He was my engineering teacher. He was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Mr. P. Represent.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
I don't know. I hope he watches.
I
That would
hope
be
so,
so.
too.
That'd be really nice. If I just get a comment in this video and it's Mr. P and he's just like, "Hey man, thanks for the shout out." I'm like, "Anytime,
Absolutely,
of course." I hope you don't think I'm a bad person for everything I've said on the podcast. What were you talking about?
Mr. P.
Given
We were talking about how you learn. From my experience, if I ever needed to do something hands-on, like with my job, I guess my experience with learning the craft that I'm doing, obviously you need to do it a million times, your 10,000 hours. But I've found it incredibly helpful for me to just watch. And so whenever I would watch my boss do this thing, I would just focus in. It's like, okay, so just mimic what he's doing. Just do that.
That's fair.
Just do the exact same thing that he's doing.
I don't know. I still think hands-on.
I did that with baseball. I did that with weightlifting.
Ooh, I was a pro at baseball.
You were
Super
a pro at baseball?
I was so pro. I could have gone pro.
What happened?
I busted my leg. And it bruised.
Sliding into home, huh?
It bruised really hard.
Right.
It hurt.
It bruised.
I was out for the season.
Then I went to coach and he said, "Go sit down." Who gave you those pants?
Was there anything else about the kids growing up or anything?
Yeah, Jonathan Haidt, he sends his daughter out in New York, very safe neighborhood in New York, to go get bagels like 5 or 6 blocks away. And Joe asked him how old she was.
And he was like 7 or something.
9, I think.
9.
And
like
Joe
that.
goes, "Whoa!" And John's like, "Whoa,
wow,
it's fine.
That's a great recreation of the scene. Thank you, Blake.
It's fine."
Thank you, Blake.
It's like, it's fine. She's gonna be fine. It's a safe neighborhood. And she's learning how to be independent already. She's gonna be so much better off than girls her age that haven't done any of that stuff. Do you want to get into the depression epidemic that's going on because of it?
Yeah. That's another big highlight point. So we are I've come to terms with it. Unfortunately, I've always considered myself a millennial, but it's like I think we're both on the edge of millennial.
96, so
I think you're officially a Gen Z. So you're like the oldest Gen Z. And same here, but like we're on the edge. It's debated like what specific year is the cutoff year. So, but with Gen Z, I know people who are younger than me that like I can see these results and these impacts and everything like that. So essentially, and they have the specific percentages and stuff like that. Essentially, for both boys and girls, you saw a steady, from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And early 90s, I think past the 90s, you saw steady just rates, just like
rates of depression, rates of suicide, rates of
self-harm, all that stuff. Like very, very
pretty
borderline, consistent. And then immediately as we go into the 21st century, I can't talk today. Just immediately
it shoots up like a skateboard ramp.
Yeah, like
just
ages 10 to 13 for self-harm related incidences, which before was like at probably 1%, 0%, very, very low.
Yeah.
It shot up to 115%. Like it was this insane, like, almost triple the number.
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous. And so it's just like these huge, insane, because something happened, and because like what we were talking about, because the differences in how we're raising the kids and how parents are reacting to stuff and how we're handling these situations, we're seeing massive spikes of depression.
Right.
And personally, I definitely think as a 95er myself, I can definitely admit to definitely battling with depression for kind of a while now.
Right.
As well as anxiety problems and a few other things as well. So it's kind of weird how true this sort of rings to me. But when I go back and think about my childhood, it's like, it wasn't that bad. I had to handle shit for myself. Right. I think there's a big learning curve going like from high school to college, and there's a big learning curve from college outwards. But I think I've kind of stabilized at this point, and I feel bad for, all the kids, because I know a handful of people who was definitely like a prime target for depression. Was just a prime victim of it, essentially. And so, is it all their fault? No. Is it all the parents' fault? No. It's a combination. We're living in the moment, so it's not like we can have historical data of like, oh well, 20 years ago, like we don't have that yet. So
it's 20 years ago, they didn't have to worry about the effects of social media.
Yeah, they had the Cold War to worry about.
20 years ago? I was 99, dude. We're old as shit, dude.
I keep thinking I keep doing numbers immediately.
That's
like
when Blink-182 came on the scene, dude.
1970 is 30 years ago. That's what I always think. That's it'll forever.
That's how I functioned.
Yep. And it's not 40 years ago. And
no,
golly, it's about to be 50 years ago. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying? What happened 10 years ago?
Well, 20 years ago, we didn't have social media.
True.
To heighten everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is looked under on a microscope now.
For sure.
And I think Jonathan Haidt didn't make anything conclusive about it.
Because these are all initial numbers.
Right. But his general belief is that these numbers are going up because of social media. There's a reason why tech moguls and their bosses and all those CEOs, they don't let their own kids use their products.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, because even they realize this is harmful to them.
It's addicting.
It's incredibly harmful to a person's psyche.
There's a big movement right now, and it's kind of still particularly strong within the video game industry, but essentially gambling is a problem, and it's slot machines, casinos, they've all been designed and meticulously worked so that
psychologists help design them.
Exactly. And so what's happening now with kids is that there are a lot of gambling-esque mechanics in the video games, like microtransactions and all sorts
loot boxes.
Loot boxes is a prime example where, you put $5 into the game, and then it's like, ooh, you can get a potential myriad of items from this list. And it's like, oh, what am I going to get? What am I going to get?
Most of the time it's nothing.
Unknown to you, the percentage of getting the super shiny gold armor or whatever is like 0.01%, and everything else has these higher percentages. And so that's a problem we see now with a lot of kids. And I think Belgium is the only place that has outlawed it in its country.
Gambling just straight across the board,
or in video games, like getting rid of the gambling style microtransactions. And then I believe they have some kind of advisory, like you have to specify this game is rated T for blood, gore, gambling, and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay.
That. So
it's like part of their rating system.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's I'm generalizing, but they've made way bigger strides than we have, unfortunately. But I mean,
which games are you referring to right now that do
all
that?
games.
I'm not into the games.
The new Call of Duty games, the new Anthem game.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. What is it? The Metro game. I'm sure that has some kind of microtransactions. Essentially, any game under EA, published and released by EA, is probably gonna have microtransactions.
Yeah, they had that. That was the whole controversy behind Battlefront.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm on board. I'm on board.
So, anyways, back to the main. I don't know. I guess we're kind of wrapping up, but we live in a very messed up time.
It's crazy for sure.
It is.
So how can we combat this when we become parents? Together with our little Asian baby? That we adopt.
Vietnamese baby.
Right. What's the first step that you're gonna do with your kid?
I don't know. Probably try and mirror events in my life and sort of reinforce the same. I'm just worried my kid's gonna be a shithead, and it's like, if he's a shithead, I can't really do anything about it. So.
Good attitude to have.
Yeah, right. No, I don't know. I think I'll try and have a very trusting relationship with the kid. My idea is just tell me, you're gonna get into some shit, and you're gonna, experience some stuff in life, and you're gonna get into trouble. Just let me know. Don't like try and handle it yourself if it's like you're about to, get arrested or whatever. Like just call me in. So as long as I've got like that, I think I'll be okay.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. And then I'll implant a tracker in my kid. Yeah, it'll be in his butt. And so, yeah.
Oh.
Plant trackers in your kids.
No.
Don't vax your kids and plant trackers in your kids. Perfect advice.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I think also it's also just recognizing that kids are not so easily breakable. I think they understand it, and as soon as you start treating them with respect and have the more freedoms, and you treat them a little more older, they'll want to rise to that.
If your kid plays any activities or whatever, sports or whatever, are you gonna let him keep the trophy for 4th place?
It depends if it's like there are 1,000 teams and
no, yeah. So if you're in a state tournament,
sure,
and he's the 4th best team in the state or whatever,
all right,
keep the trophy.
Fair. Oh, but if it's like in his little crappy division,
it's
and
Little
there's
League,
like
dude.
4 other teams.
There's 5 or 6 teams and they're 4th.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna take the trophy away?
Well, I wouldn't
take
take
it
it
away.
away.
His kid's eyes. And
no, I'll just be like, hey, kiddo. Do you want to keep this?
You
or
didn't
do you want
win,
ice
right?
cream?
You know you didn't win, right?
Well, no, don't do that. That's rude. I'll just be like,
that's rude.
No. You just say, hey, who wants to go get ice cream, and they'll forget about it, and you just
steal the trophy.
Sure, if you want to steal the trophy, that's fine. I'll be like, you can give me the trophy for a double scoop. I'll trade you.
So now you're teaching economics. That's good.
Exactly.
This is good.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. So if you have any comments or
we're not
responses,
having kids anytime soon.
Oh no, not to us having kids.
No.
But to what we talked about, definitely I'm very interested in all of the tidbits and perspectives that you have. Olga, I'm expecting you to respond. I don't know if she does every now and then, and there's a few other people that are still consistent. Other shout outs coming when I remember names. Anyways, we have one other bit that Blake brought to me.
So I don't know when will this be uploaded, do you think?
This Friday.
This Friday. Okay.
By God, this Friday.
By God, this Friday. Okay. Well, Valentine's Day. We're in the season.
We'll come and gone.
Yeah. Valentine's Day will have come and gone. But that doesn't mean that, you still can't prepare for the next Valentine's Day. And I started thinking I should probably get into the Hallmark card making business, because I think I've got a lot of good ideas how to make, really lovey-dovey cards that are kind of sweet, because I'm kind of a sweetie. And so I just wrote some down, just kind of off the top of my head. And I want you to read these and then pick which one you think I should probably turn into Hallmark.
Sure.
Go ahead and just
I bet they're all golden. So I just okay. So
no. Read the front part first.
To my beautiful angel.
Aww.
When I saw you on the subway, I just knew I had to reach out to you. Sorry I squeezed your boob as hard as I could before I ran away. Love, Blake. Oh, these are gonna be horrible.
Sweet. That's sweet.
That is. To my darling.
Aww.
I really hope you enjoyed these. I love, after all these years, I'm discovering new things about you. Like just last week, I found out that you don't approve of cross-dressing. Forgive me. Now, Bianca. That was pretty good.
That was good.
I like that one. To Lover Girl. Here are the things I like most about you. Your smile, your laugh, your kindness, your unlocked back door, and your reluctancy to testify. Thanks, Blake. These are do they get worse or better?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, oops. To my baby.
Aww.
I can't believe we've been together this long. Remember when we made our vows and said, "Till death do us part"? Well, tonight we will part. I left letters for both our families. Blake. Aww. That's really sweet.
That one was sweet.
That was sweet. That was very nice. That was pretty sweet. To Love is Blind Soulmate. Let's make this an extra special and memorable Valentine's Day, because it will be the last one I celebrate as a man. Heart, Blake. P.S. I'm way ahead of Bruce Jenner. Just reach into my capris and feel for yourself.
Now you improv that one. That's not fair to me.
What?
That's not
No,
fair.
I didn't say that. That's Blake is an evil genius. To dear latest vagina. Wow, that's very giving. With every passing day, I get to know you a little bit better, and I hate what I find. I wish my first wife never left. Lose weight, Blake. Oh man, these are bad. How many do we got left? I'm only reading.
Got a few more. Just got a few more.
Just a few. Let me see how many. All right, we've got time. To my lover in love. Aw. At 5 p.m. today, as I sit on the couch, I will hear two things: the sound of your car in the driveway and the crunch of cyanide capsule in my mouth. Forever yours, Blake. Man, you have a lot of lovers, dude.
These are just, it's, all of them end in Blake, but they're
What's this? 2016, 2017. Blake, were these two your girlfriends? To my new lover. Oh, 2018.
Yeah, this is a new one. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we're 2019. I predict we will have a great first Valentine's Day. I also predict that I will put a baby inside of you so fast you'll be shooting into the floorboard of a cab in 9 months. Give or take 60 seconds. Always yours, Blake. That's horrible. I hate that one. That's going in the trash. That's way too graphic for
you gotta
Hallmark.
read it.
No. No. All right. To my Valentine. This has been the hardest Valentine's Day card I've ever had to write. Mainly due to my unfortunate sausage handling accident this morning. Don't ask, Blake.
Right.
And I won't.
Right. Thank you.
To the haver of my heart. Oh, that's sweet. You know what the biggest difference is between us? You're HIV negative, Blake. That's bad. That's really bad. That one needs to be in color if you're going to actually put that one.
I'll add the art later, illustrations later.
To the girl I'm interested in. You and I have a lot in common. You know who else you have a lot in common with? Melissa McCarthy. Go jogging, Blake. That's hard. That's rude. That's just
Melissa McCarthy's funny.
True. What's
wrong with that?
No, you're right. That's right. Sorry, I judged too quickly.
Right.
You're right. I
and
apologize.
Last one.
To my female counterpart. Hope you had a good day at work. I left you chocolates in the kitchen, roses on the table, and my DNA on your nightstand. Don't use a blacklight, Blake.
Yay!
Woo!
See, that one was nice.
That was nice, kind of.
Okay. So, which one am I sending to Hallmark? And which one should I be giving to my girlfriend?
Oh, God. Well, I'd say do the one I threw away to your girlfriend. There you go. That's good. And I don't know. I like the My Baby one. We left letters for both of our families. I like that one.
That one was
pretty.
Sweet.
It's kind of like you go, aw.
Right.
Aw.
Oh.
Exactly. It's a multi-level thing.
Right.
So I think we'll do the My Baby.
Got
as
it.
our
Got
winner.
it.
So,
Got it. Okay. Well,
please contact them and tell me. Just with just a shittily drawn, hand-drawn thing. I made these for you. The Hallmark guy's like, is this for me or the company? I don't know.
Huh. Well, his spelling is atrocious, first of all. I'm going to have to work on that.
It's part of the charm.
Right.
Well, anyways, that was it, guys, for another one more podcast. Thank you guys so much. If you liked Blake's Valentine's cards, maybe he can do a different season. Easter's coming up.
Oh, yes.
Can you do Easter cards?
Oh, I can do them all.
All right. Well, definitely let us know. Again, anything that we've talked about in the podcast, respond. Let's talk about it. So, peace, guys.